2. Remake is an updated version of the classic psychological horror game developed by Bloober Team. The game retains key elements of the original, such as the story of James Sunderland, who receives a letter from his deceased wife and returns to the mysterious town of Silent Hill. Major changes include new combat mechanics, an updated camera system switching to third-person view, and improved graphics thanks to Unreal Engine 5. The game promises to immerse players in an atmosphere of fear and anxiety using modern technologies, including dynamic lighting and realistic sound. A.I.L.A is the first horror game developed by the Brazilian studio Pulsatrix and published by Fireshine Games. Players take on the role of a beta tester experiencing new technologies in an environment rich with artificial intelligence. The game combines elements of psychological horror and science fiction, placing the character before horrors that transcend ordinary perceptions of reality. Using Unreal Engine 5, A.I.L.A offers stunning graphics and atmospheres where real and virtual worlds begin to merge.
True horror often doesn't present itself in the way we expect or desire. But I will reveal to you the real horror.
InZOI is an upcoming life simulation game developed by Krafton. The game allows players to manage virtual characters called Zoi and care for their lives, including managing their needs, jobs, and social interactions. InZOI will feature Expedition 33 is an upcoming turn-based action RPG developed by Sandfall Interactive. The game takes place in a world where every year a mysterious entity known as the Paintress paints a number on a monolith, and all people of that age disappear. Players control a squad of 6 characters, including Gustav and Luna, and must stop the Paintress before she destroys the last group of survivors. The game combines elements of traditional JRPGs with unique real-time mechanics in battles, allowing players to dodge and counterattack.
And everyone of that age vanishes into nothingness.
This world is full of wonders.
Yet everywhere we go, we walk with death.
Karma: The Dark World is the debut game from Pollard Studio, representing a psychological horror with exploration and investigation elements. Set in East Germany in 1984, players take on the role of an agent who must uncover secrets hidden in the memories of others. In a world controlled by the Leviathan Corporation, the game promises to immerse participants in a sinister atmosphere, full of unexpected encounters and strange phenomena.
Hello? How about getting to know you? Where the hell am I?
When the Leviathan Corporation came, everything changed.
You don't get to choose to see the events that led up to these memories, or what transpired after.
You should know more than I do about how Leviathan operates.
Why don't you kill me?
Because you're a good person.
Gothic Remake is a reimagining of the classic RPG originally released in 2001. The game will utilize Unreal Engine 5 to create improved graphics and a more dynamic combat system. Developers from Alchemia Interactive promise to retain the core elements of the original while adding new features like enhanced NPC interactions and new areas to explore. The story remains true to the original, where players take on the role of a prisoner who must survive and carve out a place in a conflict-ridden world.
Or to supply his armies. So every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Khorinis. To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out his best magicians to create a magical barrier around the entire valley. But something disturbed the creation of the barrier, trapping everyone inside. Like the original 2001 title, Gothic Remake is set on creating an immersive and realistic world. Enjoy a complex life simulation on a scale hardly ever seen before in a video game. During the day, the inhabitants of the colony carry out a variety of activities, while nature, rich in all its diversity, lives out its own rhythm.
Phantom Blade Zero is an action RPG developed by S-Game, where players take on the role of Soul, an elite assassin seeking revenge after being injured. The game offers fast-paced and spectacular combat interactions, along with semi-adventure elements based on Chinese folklore and cultural aspects. The graphics will be realized using Unreal Engine 5, ensuring high-quality visual effects.
Faceless is here!
Don't go up there. Turn back before it's too late.
Dying Light. The Beast is a new standalone adventure in the zombie action genre developed by Techland. The game returns hero Kyle Crane, who gains unique abilities after 13 years in captivity. Events take place in the Castor Woods area, where players will use their parkour skills to fight zombies and explore various locations, including villages and industrial complexes. The game length is around 18 to 20 hours and will include elements of both the main storyline and side quests.
On me. Bloody hell.
Contact!
Every man has an animal within. If you push too much, you might
Retrieval is a survival horror game from 333 Studios, where players take on the role of Hana Losh, the commander of a research team on the distant planet Rahalian. Gameplay involves exploring an abandoned base, filled with horrors and unexpected plot twists. The game will stand out with its cinematic graphics and enhanced atmosphere through the use of RTXD and Dolby Atmos technologies.
Always clawing at the surface like worms begging for food. The lack of understanding to push what we don't know when something should be left alone.
There's nothing we can do.
Monster Hunter Wilds is a new game in the renowned Monster Hunter series by Capcom, which will feature the first full open world in the franchise. The game promises to introduce many new mechanics, such as expanded mobility options and new monsters. It will be developed with the latest generation of consoles in mind, allowing for significant improvements in graphics and gameplay dynamics. Players are expected to use unique creatures and environments to hunt colossal monsters in beautiful natural locations. Exoborne is a tactical shooter with an open world developed by Sharkmob. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic USA, where nature and technology are in conflict. Players use exoskeletons known as exo-rigs to survive in a world filled with hostile factions and dynamic weather conditions. The game includes PvP and PvE elements, as well as unique mechanics like using storms and other natural phenomena to create unique gameplay moments. Arc Raiders is a PvPvE extraction shooter developed by Embark Studios. Players will fight against dangerous mechanical adversaries using various gadgets and weapons, as well as interacting with other players. The game takes place in a colony called Speranza, located in the ruins of a post-apocalyptic land, and focuses on survival and resource gathering in the fight against Arc machines that patrol the surface.
Raiders. Playing with fire. Everything to lose, but even more to gain.
Empire of the Ants is a real-time strategy game developed by Tower 5 and published by Microids. Based on the famous novel by Bernard Werber, players control an ant colony, taking on the role of Ant Number 1, 03683, and must lead their colony to prosperity through tactical battles and strategic planning. The game offers photorealistic graphics based on Unreal Engine 5, allowing for the creation of detailed and vibrant worlds full of local fauna and flora.
New season. Welcome to the fascinating empire of the ants. Play as 103683, an inquisitive ant in a world of unsuspected dangers. Your mission? Defend your colony against rival kingdoms and expand the borders of our Queen's empire beyond known lands. But remember, the strength of your people lies in unity and strategy. In this exciting strategy game, every decision counts. Research technologies, train the right legions, and choose which one to send into battle first. New threat is on the way. Gather your forces, plan your strategies, and defy the dangers that threaten your home.
Stalker 2, Heart of Chornobyl is the long-awaited continuation of the cult series developed by GSC Game World. The game features an open world that combines first-person shooter and survival horror elements, immersing players in the post-apocalyptic Chernobyl zone. Players will control a character named Skiff, exploring dangerous locations filled with mutants, anomalies, and hostile factions. The game also includes survival mechanics with hunger, radiation, and other factors, adding an additional layer of difficulty.
Jesus.
This is the dark side of the zone. But there's another. The shining side. It's here all around us, but we cannot see it. I wonder what's out there. Eternal spring? The Klondike of artifacts? A new home? Or our heart's desires? We want the shining zone.
The first Berserker Khazan is an action RPG developed by Neopol and published by Nexon based on the Dungeon and Fighter universe. Players take on the role of Khazan, a great general seeking to restore his reputation and take revenge on the enemies who betrayed him. The game offers intense battles, character customization options, and exploration of a fantasy world, along with unique hand-drawn graphics in a cel-shaded style. Mafia: The Old Country is a new game in the famous series that brings players back to the world of organized crime, but this time set in the 1900s in Sicily. The game promises a deep, linear story focused on the origins of organized crime while providing an authentic atmosphere of mafia drama. Developed by Hangar 13, the game aims to return to the roots of what fans love, delivering a rich and engaging experience.
Your life. Do this, family.
Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the successful RPG by Warhorse Studios. The game returns players to 15th century Bohemia, where the main character, Henry, will seek revenge for his parents' death and improve his standing in society. Kingdom Come 2 promises to maintain a focus on historical accuracy, a deep storyline, and a complex quest system. The game will also include various combat styles and crafting elements, allowing players to adapt their playstyle.
Well, if they're not already swinging on the gallows somewhere.
Will you help us, Henry?
Yeah, buddy, bro!
Fine is a narrative-driven action game developed by Neki, focusing on dynamic combat in the Gun Fu style. The game takes place in a cyberpunk world where players control a character named Redline, who possesses a combat implant that helps fight against an authoritarian regime controlled by the AI Tensor. The game combines elements of parkour and choreographed combat, creating a unique experience where each fight looks like a scene from a movie.
I never asked for this.
Reanimal is a survival horror game developed by Tarsier Studio, known for the Little Nightmares series. In this game, players take on the role of a brother and sister, trying to save their friends and escape from an island-turned nightmare. Gameplay includes exploration, puzzle solving, and interactions with mutated animals. The game supports both single-player and cooperative modes, adding a collaborative element to the survival process. Directive 8020 is a new game in the dark pictures anthology series developed by Supermassive Games. It is a sci-fi survival horror where players control a team of astronauts on the colonial ship Cassiopeia, attempting to survive on a distant planet after a catastrophe on Earth. The game will include thriller and nightmare elements where players must deal with a threatening alien entity capable of disguising itself as crew members. Spirit of the Samurai is a 2D action-adventure game in the Metroidvania style, developed by Digital Mind Games and published by A.I.L.A. Players take on the role of Takeshi, a samurai who must protect his village from the attack of Honest and their army of undead. The game offers a unique animation style using stop-motion technique and immerses players in the atmosphere of feudal Japan with its mythological creatures such as Tengu and Jorogumo. 3 playable characters are available: a samurai, a spirit, and a cat, each with their unique abilities. Black State is an upcoming action-adventure game with stealth elements developed by the Turkish studio Motion Blur. The game promises to provide players with an exciting experience in a photorealistic world where they take on the role of a hero, working for a secret group of scientists known as the Architects. Players will undertake missions to rescue hostages and uncover secrets hidden behind mysterious doors. Gameplay will focus on using various tactical gadgets and weapons, such as pistols, rifles, and explosives, combined with unique combat and stealth mechanics. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is the long-awaited sequel to the original game, developed by Saber Interactive and published by Focus Entertainment. In this game, players once again take on the role of Captain Titus, who returns to the Ultramarines to combat the threat posed by Tyranids, predatory aliens threatening humanity. The game offers dynamic action that blends shooting and melee combat, along with new elements such as parrying and combo attack. Crimson Desert is an open-world single-player action game developed by Pearl Abyss, where players take on the role of Cliff McCaff, a mercenary in the feudal kingdom of Peevil. The game's storyline unfolds against a backdrop of political intrigue and power struggles after the king falls into a coma. Players will gather a team of mercenaries and fight enemies to restore order in the kingdom.
Show yourself, coward!
Try ending my life.
Atomfall is a single-player survival action game developed by Rebellion, set in a post-apocalyptic British landscape, inspired by the events of the 1957 nuclear disaster at the Windscale plant. Players will explore a quarantine zone, encountering various factions, including mystical cults and government agents. The game features multiple ways to interact with the world, including resource gathering, crafting, fighting, and trading with local characters. No More Room in Hell 2 is a multiplayer, cooperative, first-person shooter set in a zombie-infested world. Players can team up in groups of up to 8, controlling characters that are emergency services trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. The game promises intense gameplay focused on realistic survival mechanics and a permanent death system. If your character dies, you cannot play as them again. Each playthrough will be unique due to changing conditions on the map and random resource spawning elements.
Using explosives and assault rifles to overcome that final challenge.
Like with Chivalry, combat is the first thing we focused on, being Torn Banner. We want that game feel just really intense, and it's part of the immersion. Every run is different. We're looking at how do we deliver the Hollywood cinematic experiences. You know, how do we put you in a place that you've never been before, but you've always wanted to be. It's like a co-op game with consequences.
Casting of Frank Stone is an interactive drama and horror game developed by Supermassive Games, known for its horror projects like Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology. The game is set in the universe of Dead by Daylight and follows a group of teenagers trying to film a movie about a serial killer named Frank Stone in the town of Cedar Hills. Throughout the story, players will make choices that affect course of the narrative and the fates of the characters. Soulframe is a new game from Digital Extremes, creators of Warframe, offering a unique approach to the fantasy genre. Unlike the fast pace of Warframe, Soulframe focuses on slow and thoughtful gameplay, where players will explore a world emphasizing melee combat, dodging, and parrying attacks. The game will include various mechanics, such as the ability to summon creatures for assistance in battle and interact with the environment through musical instruments.
So wield it. Or yield to it. Once you've learned, that is a choice only you can make.
Save Birmingham is a zombie apocalyptic survival game developed by Ocean Drive Studio. Set in the 14th century in Birmingham, England, players become one of the last survivors in a city that has been engulfed by a mysterious plague, turning residents into zombies. The game offers realistic physics as well as crafting and resource management. Players will explore a city that combines historical accuracy with horror elements, avoiding zombie attacks while managing their survival needs. Projekt's Beyond Order is a multiplayer cooperative first-person shooter set in an alternative version of World War II events. Players become part of a group of survivors trying to uncover the secrets of a Nazi island, where experiments with zombies are conducted under a secret program called Projekt Z. The game features unique characters with special abilities and a deep crafting and weapon customization system.
In Projekt Z, you are trying to escape the secret island Breitengrad 77, controlled by Colonel Walter, the villain in our alternative world. You start together in the Hideout, a central hub in the game where you can accept missions, buy, sell and customize weapons, as well as upgrade your character. But that's not all. You also have the option to design your hideout according to your preferences along with your friends, provided that you have found enough resources and blueprints during missions or in free roam mode.